I'm gonna do some jumping jacks, hold on. 14, 15. A few months ago, I asked on Instagram, filmmakers and creatives, what is the biggest thing that you're struggling with right now? And to my surprise, the most common answer was motivation. When we spend all this time scrolling through Instagram, looking at other people's accomplishments and finished work, it can be really easy to think that we're the only ones that struggle to stay motivated, but we're not. So the first step in getting your motivation back is just to give yourself some grace. It's easy to beat yourself up for not being absolutely pumped 24/7 to do the thing that you consider to be your passion. So for example, if you're super passionate about creating music and then one day you wake up and it doesn't sound super appealing to practice guitar, it's easy to beat yourself up about that. Like, why am I not wanting to do this right now? Shouldn't I want to do this? Especially too, if you have quit a 9-to-5 or just completely not even entered that world because you are freelancing or doing something creative, and then suddenly you lost the motivation to do that creative thing that you left the 9-to-5 for in the first place, it can be really discouraging and it's easy to beat yourself up about it, but don't. So just know that if you're in an unmotivated rut right now, there is nothing wrong with you. You are just like the rest of us. To further unpack why we as creatives struggle to stay motivated, I interviewed my sister Abby, who is an independent artist and songwriter. I'll be sprinkling her interview throughout this video.
It started out as a fun thing, and I think when you start something new, especially in a creative field, you're like just very excited about it. And it doesn't take a lot of motivation because it's new. At first, you just like kind of get inspired and then you do something. And the more you do it, you can't just wait around for inspiration to come. If you don't put yourself in some sort of rhythm or hold yourself accountable in a certain way, then it's just not gonna happen.
Sometimes asking, how do I get motivated, is the wrong question. True inspiration and motivation only come from actually doing the work to create.
I don't know if I believe in motivation. I think that means I don't think you need to do all of these things to get yourself into a state of, now I'm motivated, so now I will do it. I think being motivated is just doing it. And you don't know what's gonna happen, and that's always scary. Because you might fail, but how will you know if you never try?
I think that the reason we sit around and wait to get motivated to work on something, or we'll daydream about a project and what it could be, but not actually work on it, is because creativity is kind of like death, in a way. Death of all the infinite possibilities of what your project could be so that it can become what it is. Oftentimes we find this out the hard way and we lose motivation as soon as we hit a setback or a challenge of any kind. And for me, I get really disappointed and unmotivated when I feel like a project isn't turning out the way that I imagined it at first. And to continue to stay motivated, I just have to put that project in perspective and use it to make my next one even better. What helps us actually improve as creatives is just repeating the creative process. You try and you fail and you learn, and then just repeat that whole process over and over again.
There's like a lot of songs that I've written, and for you and other people, probably just a lot of projects that you've created that haven't felt amazing, but I think it's the discipline of finishing them that can lead you to learning how to finish things that you are excited about. So if you don't know how to finish something that you're not stoked on, then that discipline might not transfer over when you have something that actually has a lot of potential if you just give it the time that it needs.
So if you think that's you and you've been waiting to feel some type of motivation or inspiration before you start working on a project, I highly encourage you to just get working on it, and I promise that things will get clearer, things will get easier and smoother as you go.
There's this, I think it was like Ed Sheeran or somebody, used an analogy of like a sink with running water, and you know, you turn on the faucet for like the first time in a really long time, and it's like kind of disgusting water that's coming out. But the longer that you leave it on, it gets clearer and clearer. And so I think just putting yourself in a position where you're ready to like face those uncomfortable feelings and just push past that, that's where you're really gonna get into the stuff that you wanna be creating, I think.
And start small. Just set a timer for 30 minutes to an hour and work on that project that you've been putting off until the timer is up. Also, I cannot skip over this part because of how much it's helped me. Make sure that your environment is set up to help you create. Make sure the space that you're working in is clean and organized, and you have all your tools and things that you use to create right there next to you. And that also means put your phone on Do Not Disturb, throw that thing across the room, whatever you gotta do to minimize distractions at all costs. When you're working on something that you've been putting off or something that's hard, you're way more likely to give in to distractions and things that are within an arm's reach. So yeah, if you do these things, I guarantee it will be much easier for you to push through writer's block, get started on that project, whatever you're doing. Guarantee it will be much easier with less distractions in a cleaner, more helpful environment. And it's totally okay and normal if it's scary at first. In fact, in The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield writes, "Are you paralyzed with fear? That's a good sign. Fear is good. Like self-doubt, fear is an indicator. Fear tells us what we have to do. Remember one rule of thumb. The more scared we are of a work or calling, the more sure we can be that we have to do it." Thank you all for watching. I hope this video helped you at least understand that you are not alone in struggling to stay motivated to do your creative work. I think after 2020, we all got a little bit disconnected and a little bit more isolated, even so, than we were before. And that can create a sense of like, oh, if I'm struggling to stay motivated, I'm the only one. But we're all going through it, so I hope this helped you understand that. I also hope you gained a helpful tip or two that you can apply right away and get working on whatever it is you're working on. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers, and welcome to all the new people who watched my Komodo video. I know this one is a little bit different from the last. So yeah, do expect more filmmaking content, but there will also be videos like this that just talks about creativity in general. So anyways, yeah, thank you to all you new people and for anybody who made it this far in the video. I will catch ya on the next one.
Yeah.
He needs to get his sink checked out. That's never happened to me.
Why your sink got dirty water?
Why your sink brown?
I know, as I was saying that analogy, I was like, wait, when is water like that?